Best Picture nominees of 2018 from bottom to top. At number 9, I have The Post. This was my least favorite, does not deserve to be nominated. I'd rather have nothing nominated than this be nominated. I saw this movie with my roommate, and about 10 minutes into it, he was snoring. Then about 30 minutes into it, I started losing hope and faith in it and started not caring at all about anything with this movie and started looking at my phone, which I never do during movies. This movie came out way too soon after Spotlight, which won 2 years ago. It wanted to be Spotlight, and somehow this movie felt dated. I know it takes place in an earlier time, but I mean that as the way it was made, how cheesy it was, the acting, the music, everything about it. And I do blame that on Spielberg. I felt like he's getting a little out of touch here, and this was very rushed. And why were there so many noticeable faces in this for roles that didn't need that? It was distracting. Why is Sarah Paulson the wife? She's too good of an actress to even be that kind of role. Why is Jesse Plemons in this? He's in everything. But in this, we gotta have him in something else, and he's just this side character with like 3 lines. And then Bob Odenkirk's cast in it. And he's basically just Saul Goodman answering the phone in every scene. Clearly, Steven Spielberg loves Better Call Saul, loves Sarah Paulson, he loves all these TV actors, and he's just casting them to cast them, which I didn't think was right. And I love every actor in this movie, but it's just not casted well and kind of just thrown together. And then David Cross, he's in heavy makeup, but did he have one funny line in this movie? So why David Cross? And the story, who really cares? It's just a magazine versus another magazine. It's very pretentious, this movie. Didn't have that meaning and weight that Spotlight did if we're comparing journalism movies, so it's just a corny ending. This movie, no way. Thumbs down. Number 8, I'm going to have Dunkirk. It looks great, sounds incredible, but didn't have one character to attach to here. So I felt myself, again, getting very bored. The movie just felt very empty and hollow. Not a fan of it. I love Christopher Nolan, but it kind of felt like a waste because his stories are his strength, and he's basing this off historical events, which limits him. It just felt off, and it looked amazing, but that's not enough here. You need a good story. You need good characters. So it's not Best Picture worthy. Number 7 for me is Get Out. It's the most overrated movie of the year to me. Look, the politics are great. The message is fresh. It's unique in that way. But it's structured like any horror thriller you've seen before. It's very predictable. Things start getting worse as it goes. And then the goofy friend saves the day at the end. I've seen it so many times. It wasn't as groundbreaking in movie sense as people were saying. It was more groundbreaking in message and theme, which I do really respect, but the suspense wasn't there for me at all. There was no moment I was on the edge of my seat like some critics were saying. You could figure out what was going on immediately, so I just lost interest in it. The number 6 people are going to be pissed about, but I did not enjoy Shape of Water, which could be seen as a top 2 favorite here to win. Guillermo del Toro is a master at visuals and how everything looks, but there was no heart here. I did not like the story. What lost me was when she meets the monster, they fall in love immediately. This wasn't an earned love story. It was just, oh, they're in love. So at that point, I'm not even caring anymore because we got there. We're there. We won. The end is there. It's in the beginning. And did Guillermo del Toro really have to use the same monster basically from the Hellboy movies? That's just lazy to me. I think he just decided to make a love story out of that guy, and it felt weak. It wasn't groundbreaking. It's your classic Tales all the time with Beauty and Beast. Take away the earning of love here and how they fall in love, and you just get a great-looking movie. So not Best Picture worthy at all to me. Then the favorite to win Best Picture, I did not like as well. This is why this year is so frustrating to me. But 3 Billboards, oh boy, over the top in every way. Where this movie lost me, I was really enjoying in the beginning, but when Frances McDormand is in that dentist chair and then she attacks a dentist, just felt, what is this movie going for? Just went away from being realistic and got goofy. Felt like a Hallmark TV movie. Everything was so convenient and not believable in this movie, particularly when Sam Rockwell was on fire and Peter Dinklage's character was just standing in the middle of the road when no one else is around, just hanging out, and then he appears to save the day. Come on. And another scene when Sam Rockwell's character at the end is in that bar, and that guy talking about murder and rape and all that stuff happens to be right there, sitting in the booth behind him. Everything in this movie was like that. That's just bad writing to me. And a scene that really frustrated me, and it was really showing how this movie was going, was when her ex-husband came back and had the knife at her throat, and Lucas Hedges was a great actor, comes to confront the dad, but then the girlfriend has to come in and make a joke. So it kills all the tension, kills all the momentum, something you're finally taking seriously and passionate about. It just throws a thorn in its own story here. And that was the biggest thing. There's just bad direction to me, and there's a reason why he wasn't nominated for director. I know it's the favorite, but I'm going to guess this is not going to win Best Picture, and people are going to be shocked. Number 4 for me was Darkest Hour. Solid movie. Wasn't crazy about it. It was solid. Again, that goes to Gary Oldman's performance. Incredible. The directing was really solid as well. My biggest complaint was towards the end there. It was just speech after speech after speech, and it was kind of just a platform for him to show off his acting chops, which are great, and that's great and all, but as a movie, it's pretty good. It's not incredible. You're kind of waiting for it to end at points, And a lot of it could have been chopped out for sure. It just got ridiculous in the end. It was just speech, end of movie. But it's definitely worth a watch for Gary Oldman's performance alone. Now, the next 3 movies I thought were on a different level than the rest of these nominations. Number 3 for me would be Call Me By Your Name. This was a powerful, fearless movie and had scenes that were very original and really went for it. Perfect example of this is when Timothée Chalamet's character sniffs Armie Hammer's character bathing suit when he's not there and puts over his head. That was such a well done, realistic scene of this guy in the summer having this secret crush sneaking in his room. It just went for it. It went all in this movie, knew what it was doing and what it wanted to do, and just went for it. And the scene where the kid is playing with the apricot in the bed, oh my god, that was crazy. But it really was a necessary story, set up well, and it was well performed. Music was also beautiful in it, and every actor brought it here. I like how long they build up to them falling in love, and you're kind of waiting for it to happen, how it was going to happen. They did a really good job there. But I feel like they could have cut 20 minutes out after they fell in love, because then you knew they were in love and there's a lot of gallivanting and it was a little too much meat here. I think this movie should have been a half hour shorter. And I wasn't crazed about the cliche ending where we find out Armie Hammer is getting engaged on the phone. Just felt like that was just an easy end and a cop out. And we've seen it so many times where the love interest at the end decides to go with someone else that they really shouldn't have. And he's crying. I wasn't crazy about the end, but overall, very good movie. And the next 2 are really tough for me. I like them both. But I'm going to put 2 at Phantom Thread. It's a very unique love story. I think it's one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best movies. The acting was incredible all around. The score was amazing with Johnny Greenwood, guitarist of Radiohead. I hope he takes it this year because he got robbed for There Will Be Blood soundtrack, because he always does Paul Thomas Anderson movies. But I think he portrayed the love here and the building up love perfectly. And it was an interesting take on love that most people won't understand and I didn't understand. But it showed you a very crazy love that really doesn't make any sense and how love doesn't make sense. And it was an accurate way to convincingly portray them falling in love. And you're like, okay, maybe I get this. How does this man that's kind of out of touch with reality, seen his better days, he's a grump, he's elite, he's pretentious. Why do I care about him falling in love? Why do I care about this story? Somehow Paul Thomas Anderson pulled this off, which is very difficult. And you have to give props for that. Every scene counts here. And that scene between Daniel Day-Lewis and his love interest, who was also a great actress, at the dinner table when they're yelling at each other was so good. And it was so crazy, the whole hallucinogenics thing with the mushrooms. Really out there, but felt so fresh. I hadn't seen anything like this before. Great beginning, middle, end. I loved it. But my number 1 here has to go to Lady Bird. It's a dark horse to win Best Picture. The whole movie was super tight, super fresh. It nailed the early 2000s perfectly. Had a tear-jerking end and had an incredible story of a mother and her daughter, and really nailed the concept of tough love and how this girl really didn't like her mom but got her mom at the end there. And it's interesting. It makes you just think about who was right, who was wrong, how this life works in this time. And both lead actresses here were incredible, and this one felt most like Best Picture. This is the Juno type movie this year. I think that we're due for that kind of win, because overall this was the best movie. It looked great, felt great, accurate, great humor, great acting, great story, great end. You got it all. I haven't seen one bad review for this movie. It has a 99 Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes isn't the best judgment, but it's a good way to look at, are people liking it or not? And because it has a 99, that means a lot of people are at least liking it, compared to the other nominees where you'll have bad reviews. So I think this will pull this one out for sure and win Best Picture, and it deserves it. Now, my biggest complaint I'm going to throw here is, why the hell wasn't I, Tonya nominated? That would have been number 2, maybe number 1 for me. I don't know how. 2 of its actors were nominated. It was nominated for film editing. I love that movie. The way it was set up, being based off the interviews, incredible story. What the hell? This was a weak year for me for movies compared to last year's for sure, which I thought was a very strong year. I would say that Moonlight, Lion, and La La Land were better than every single nominee this year. So I said a lot of stuff there you probably didn't agree with, maybe you agreed with, but let me know down below what you thought. What's your ranking? I respond to everybody. Please comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Check out my video I did for Best Actor, and I also ranked Best Actress, so check that out as well. Make sure to subscribe to get more reviews, celebrity interviews, trailer reactions, you name it. Follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram, and keep coming back.